Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. This time, we're taking a deep dive into the world of AI and IoT, especially how these technologies are already making a difference for a more sustainable future.
Yeah, we've got some exciting sources lined up too.
Exactly. We're going to be looking closely at AIT, a company that's offering a whole suite of IoT solutions, and we'll spend some time with their Iotonix platform. Plus, we've got a quick excerpt that takes a look at what the future might hold for AI in IoT and sustainability.
One thing that really struck me about AIT is their approach. They're not just out there selling individual products, they're really focusing on giving businesses, complete solutions that cover all the bases when it comes to IoT.
Yeah, you're right. It's like they're saying, hey, you don't need to be some massive tech company to take advantage of IoT.
Exactly.
And that's what I think is so interesting about Iotonix. This platform uses gateways, sensors, applications, all of it, to gather data and analyze it for all sorts of purposes.
And it's the sheer variety of what they can do that gets me. I mean, we're talking about everything from managing how much diesel fuel gets used to getting the most out of energy in buildings, even keeping tabs on conditions in warehouses. And let's not forget tracking how much water we're using.
Seriously, it's like Iotonix is the Swiss Army knife of IoT.
Exactly.
It can do it all. And you know what really stands out?
What's that?
Their chiller management application. Just imagine predicting when a chiller is going to go kaput before it actually happens.
Oh, absolutely. Not only does that save businesses a bunch of money on energy, but it also means they don't have that dreaded downtime.
Right, which can cost a fortune.
Yeah,
So you can see the real tangible benefits these technologies bring.
absolutely.
But it's not just about collecting mountains of data, right? What sets Iotonix apart is how they make that data useful, something you can actually act on.
And that's where their focus on easy-to-use dashboards, seamless system integration, and those customized notification systems really shines. They've put a lot of thought into making this tech accessible and useful for all kinds of businesses, no matter how big or small.
Like they're taking all that complexity out of IoT and giving businesses the tools they need to make smarter decisions. And they seem committed to being a long-term partner.
Absolutely.
That's got to be important when a business is looking at adopting these technologies.
Building that trust, that's key.
Definitely. Now, what's really fascinating is how Iotonix is tackling sustainability in all these different sectors. They've got solutions for energy, utilities, carbon emissions, you name it, industrial plants, air and water quality, even warehouse conditions.
Yeah, it really shows how broad their expertise is.
It's like they've zeroed in on those areas where IoT can make a real difference for sustainability and then gone all out to develop solutions that are right on target.
Very strategic.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working.
So we've seen how AIT and Iotonix are making IoT something everyone can use. But let's zoom out a bit and talk about the future of AI and IoT for sustainability. Our excerpt points to some really exciting possibilities.
One area with huge potential is smarter resource use. Think about using AI and IoT to track and analyze how much energy and water we're guzzling down, all in real time.
Oh, that would be amazing. Businesses could see exactly where they're wasting resources and then make changes to optimize their consumption. It'd be like having a constant readout of their environmental footprint.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And the excerpt also talks about AI and IoT helping businesses hit those carbon reduction goals.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? I mean, we all know cutting down on carbon is crucial, but how do these technologies actually help?
Well, think of it this way. IoT sensors gather all this emissions data from various sources, and then AI steps in to analyze it all, giving businesses a crystal clear picture of their carbon footprint.
Okay.
Then the AI can go even further and pinpoint opportunities to reduce emissions and suggest specific actions to take.
It's like having an AI sustainability consultant on your team. But what about waste management? That often gets overlooked in all the sustainability talk.
You're right. And our excerpt does touch on that. They're using AI-driven solutions to predict how much waste we're generating and then optimize those collection schedules.
So instead of garbage trucks just running their usual routes, they'd be dynamically routed based on actual need.
Precisely. It cuts down on fuel use and emissions, leading to a much more efficient and sustainable system overall.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the ways AI and IoT are already being used to tackle these environmental challenges. But what's next? What's down the road?
That's where things get really interesting. The excerpt hints at some incredible advancements. For example, accurate sustainability forecasting, which would let businesses predict their environmental impact with incredible detail. Just imagine how powerful that kind of foresight would be.
Oh, it would be a total game changer. Instead of just reacting to problems, businesses could get ahead of the curve and develop strategies to minimize their impact, like having a crystal ball for sustainability.
And another exciting development is the potential of blockchain technology working hand in hand with IoT to create these super transparent systems for reporting carbon emissions.
Oh, so instead of just trusting companies to report their own emissions, we'd have a system everyone can trust.
Exactly. It would be a huge leap forward in terms of accountability and would give consumers the information they need to make more informed choices.
It's truly amazing to think about the potential these technologies have to change our world for the better. But let's circle back to companies that are already putting these ideas into action.
Well, one company that really stands out is Carbon Lead.
Okay.
They've got this ambitious vision of being a driving force in the shift to a low-carbon, sustainable economy. And they're not just talking about it, they're taking real steps to make it happen.
So they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Absolutely. And they're very upfront about the challenges. They recognize that carbon management is complex. The data, the regulations, the sheer scale of the problem.
It's refreshing to hear a company be so honest about the hurdles.
Right. And they see those challenges as an opportunity.
Okay.
By taking action now, businesses can not only minimize risk, but also position themselves as leaders in sustainability. It's a forward-thinking approach.
So what are some of the things Carbon Lead is doing to help businesses make this transition to a low-carbon economy?
They've developed what they call a carbon neutrality master plan, which sets out a clear timeline for achieving carbon neutrality by 2030. It breaks the journey down into manageable phases, making decarbonization seem less daunting. And they've even created a 5-step approach to carbon management, guiding businesses every step of the way.
That sounds super comprehensive, like a roadmap for businesses to follow.
Right.
But having a plan is one thing. How does Carbon Lead help businesses actually implement it?
That's where their AI-powered carbon management platform comes in. It's designed to tackle those obstacles we talked about head-on. It provides a strategic action plan, simplifies compliance, offers verification, automates processes, and uses AI to manage emissions in a smart way.
Wow, so they're using AI not just to crunch numbers, but to actually guide decision-making and get things done.
Exactly. Their platform works with existing business systems, automatically gathers data, and delivers real-time insights so businesses can make smarter decisions about their carbon footprint. It's a sophisticated system.
And what are some of the tangible benefits businesses can expect to see from using Carbon Lead's platform?
For one, it helps them track their progress toward net zero targets in real time. It also generates reports that comply with various standards, saving time and effort. Basically, they're taking the guesswork out of carbon management.
It's amazing to see companies like Carbon Lead pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI and IoT for sustainability.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's important to remember that while Carbon Lead is definitely a leader, they're just one example of how AI is being used to solve sustainability challenges. The potential goes far beyond carbon management.
Right. We talked about areas like resource optimization and waste reduction, and there are probably tons more applications we haven't even touched on.
Absolutely. And as these technologies keep evolving, we can expect to see even more innovative solutions in the coming years. It's an exciting time to be in this space.
I totally agree. But before we get too carried away with the future, let's take a step back and recap what we've learned so far. We've seen how companies like AIT are making IoT accessible and how Carbon Lead is using AI for carbon management. But the real magic happens when we see the synergy of AI and IoT working together for a sustainable future.
Absolutely. They each bring something unique to the table.
Yeah.
IoT is all about connectivity. Those sensors out there collecting data, building a digital picture of our world. And then AI steps in, analyzes all that data, finds patterns we might miss, and transforms that raw data into something we can actually use.
A truly powerful combination. And it's not just about making things more efficient. It's about creating systems that adapt, respond, and constantly learn to face the challenges of a changing world.
And let's not forget about data visualization. All this data analysis is meaningless if we can't understand and act on it.
That's where those user-friendly dashboards and visualizations come in, making complex data accessible and giving decision-makers the power to take action.
It's about closing the gap between the digital and the physical, using technology to build a more balanced relationship between humans and the environment.
And that's what's so exciting about this whole field. The potential to use technology not just for profit or convenience, but to make a real, lasting, positive impact.
It's about building a future where technology helps us live in a way that's both prosperous and sustainable. A future worth fighting for, right? And it's not some far-off dream. We're already seeing the pieces come together.
That's what gets me so pumped about this topic. It's happening right now. We've talked about some awesome examples of AI and IoT in action. But how can our listeners actually put this knowledge to work? What are the big takeaways here?
One of the most crucial things businesses need to get is that embracing these technologies isn't just about being good to the planet. It's about staying ahead of the game.
So it's not just altruism, it's smart business.
Absolutely. Businesses that make AI and IoT part of their sustainability strategy are going to be in a much stronger position to handle those ever-changing regulations, attract customers who care about the environment, and really thrive in a world where sustainability is front and center.
It's a win-win, right? Helping the planet and getting a leg up on the competition. But for businesses just starting to explore these technologies, it can seem a bit daunting. Where do they even begin?
It all starts with taking a good hard look in the mirror. What are your sustainability goals? Where's your biggest impact? Once you've got a handle on that, you can start figuring out which solutions fit your needs best.
So step one is self-assessment. Got it. But what about the tech side of things? A lot of businesses might not have the know-how in-house to implement these solutions.
That's a valid point, and that's where teaming up with companies that specialize in AI and IoT can be a game changer.
Yeah.
Companies like AIT, for example, they've got the knowledge and experience to walk you through the whole process, from picking the right tech to getting it up and running and providing ongoing support.
Like having a trusted guide in this new world.
Yeah.
But beyond the tech itself, wouldn't you say it's also about building a culture of sustainability within the company?
Couldn't agree more. You can have the most cutting-edge AI and IoT systems, but if your people aren't on board, it's not going to fly.
It's got to be a team effort, everyone pulling in the same direction. So how can businesses get their employees excited about these technologies and open to doing things differently?
Communication is key. Explain why sustainability matters to the company and how these technologies can help achieve those goals. It's also about training and resources, making sure employees understand and can use these tools effectively.
So it's about education, empowerment, creating a shared sense of purpose around sustainability. That makes a lot of sense. But we should also acknowledge that technology isn't a magic bullet. We need a bigger approach that includes policy changes, shifts in consumer behavior, and a real commitment from businesses to put sustainability first.
You're absolutely right. Technology is a powerful tool, but it only works when it's part of a larger strategy. And I think that's a vital takeaway for our listeners. It's not about chasing the latest gadgets. It's about fundamentally changing how we think about and approach sustainability.
And that leads us to the big question. How do you see AI and IoT shaping the future of your industry and the world around you?
It's a question worth pondering because the possibilities are truly limitless.
Now think about a smart factory driven by AI and IoT.
You got it. Sensors tracking everything from energy use and emissions to the flow of materials, all in real time. AI steps in, analyzes that data, spots areas for improvement, and automatically tweaks processes for maximum efficiency and minimal waste.
That's a perfect example. And it's not just manufacturing. Imagine a city where traffic lights are controlled by AI, using data from IoT sensors to optimize traffic flow. Less congestion, fewer emissions.
Exactly. Creating systems that are efficient, adaptable, responsive, constantly learning and evolving to meet the challenges of a changing world.
And let's not forget data visualization. All this number crunching is pointless if we can't make sense of it and act on it.
Absolutely. That's where those user-friendly dashboards and visualizations come in, making complex data accessible and empowering decision makers to take action.
It's about bridging the gap between the digital and the physical, using technology to create a more harmonious relationship between humans and the environment.
And that's what makes this whole field so exciting. The potential to use technology not just for profit or convenience, but for real, lasting positive impact.
It's about building a future where technology helps us live in a way that's both prosperous and sustainable.
Having our cake and eating it too, right?
Exactly. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I think it's important to leave our listeners with some key takeaways.
First and foremost, AI and IoT are already making a difference in sustainability, and that impact is only going to get bigger in the years to come.
Second, embracing these technologies isn't just about doing the right thing for the planet, it's good business. Companies that integrate AI and IoT into their sustainability game plan will be better positioned to compete in a world that's increasingly focused on environmental responsibility.
And finally, remember, technology alone won't cut it. We need a holistic approach that includes policy changes, shifts in consumer behavior, and a real commitment from businesses to put sustainability at the top of their agenda.
It's a complex challenge, but I'm optimistic that with AI and IoT on our side, we can create a more sustainable future for everyone.
I'm with you on that. It's an exciting time to be alive, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me too. And I think that's a great place to wrap up this part of our deep dive. So we've talked about the what and the why of AI and IoT for sustainability, but I'm really curious about the how. How can businesses actually start using these technologies in their day-to-day operations?
Well, it really depends on the specific business and what they're trying to achieve. But there are some general principles that apply across the board.
Okay.
The first thing is to really understand where you stand right now in terms of sustainability. What are the areas where you have the biggest impact? Where are the opportunities to do better?
So kind of like taking stock of the situation.
Exactly. Once you've got a clear picture of your baseline, then you can start exploring different technologies and solutions.
Right.
And this is where it can be really helpful to partner with experts who can guide you through the process.
We've talked about companies like AIT and Carbon Lead, but are there other resources that businesses can turn to?
Absolutely. There are more and more consulting firms and tech providers popping up who specialize in AI and IoT for sustainability. And don't forget about industry associations and government agencies. They often offer guidance and support too.
So there's a whole network out there to help businesses get started.
Definitely.
Let's say a business has identified a specific area where they want to use AI and IoT, like energy management.
Okay.
What would be the next step?
Well, if we're talking about energy management, they might start by installing sensors to collect data on how much energy they're using across all their facilities.
Right.
Then they could use AI to analyze all that data and identify patterns and areas where they could optimize.
Can you give us an example of what that might look like in the real world?
Sure. Let's imagine a retail chain that wants to cut down on energy use in its stores.
Okay.
They could put sensors in different areas of the store lighting, HVAC, refrigeration to track energy consumption. The AI could then analyze all that data and figure out the best ways to adjust lighting schedules, tweak the HVAC settings, even predict when equipment might fail.
That's amazing. Not only would that save them money, but it would be great for the environment too.
Exactly.
But it's not just about putting the technology in place, is it?
No, it's not.
It also requires a change in how people think and behave.
You got it. Technology is only part of the solution. Businesses also need to create a culture of sustainability where employees feel empowered to make decisions that support those goals.
It's about everyone feeling responsible and taking ownership.
Exactly.
And this brings us back to the bigger picture. We've seen how AI and IoT can solve specific sustainability problems. But the real power lies in their ability to transform entire systems in industries.
I couldn't agree more. We're not just talking about making things a little bit better. We're talking about a future where businesses are actually contributing to a healthier planet.
That's an inspiring vision. And while there are definitely challenges ahead, I'm optimistic that we can make real progress with the help of these technologies.
I am too. And I think the key is to see this not as a burden, but as an opportunity.
Yeah.
AI and IoT give us a chance to completely rethink how we do business and create a future that's both prosperous and sustainable.
It's an exciting time to be alive, and I'm really looking forward to see what the future holds.
Me too. And that's how AI and IoT lead to AIoT. In the next podcast, we'll continue this topic.